Hello everyone. This video is on the tricky topic of tinnitus for anyone out there who is experiencing those sounds in the ear, in the background, constantly, intermittently, at different times during the day, when there's background noise, when there's not. There might be ringing sounds, buzzing, clicking, doesn't really matter. This video is on tinnitus, and to answer the question, does it relate to anxiety or is it a hearing challenge? And then what you can do about it. Now, it's tricky because, unlike other anxiety symptoms, for some people, it can feel more constant in that it feels like whenever you tune into it, it's there. So, I just wanted to give you some reassurance and understanding what it's all about. Just as a disclaimer, I'm not an audiologist, I'm not a hearing specialist or doctor, so I can't give you advice around hearing. All I can do is share my own experience of allowing my own tinnitus symptoms to fade away, but also the work I've done with clients to help them do the same. So the good news is tinnitus can absolutely fade away into the background regardless of the type of tinnitus that you have. My contention here is that it's all a result of boring old nervous system sensitization. So if you watch any of my videos, you know that's what I talk about. It's what Claire Weeks talked about. I can't remember if she addresses tinnitus specifically, but effectively, in my view, it's a result of this highly sensitized nervous system, this active flight or fight, essentially giving you these heightened senses in your ears that tune into sounds, noises that are already there. So we become hypersensitive. Now we know that when the flight or fight's activated, or when it's activated in a way that we need it, that we're designed to use it. I can't find my words today. When the flight or fight's activating because there's a physical threat imminent, like there's a tiger about to eat you, you're in a fight. We know that our senses will naturally be emboldened, sight, vision, sound, etc., so that we can be more alert to deal with the immediate threat to our physical health. So you want to be able to see clearly, you want to listen to all the sounds. Is the danger around the next corner? Is the tiger creeping through the forest so I can, take action? So that's normal. These hypersensitive senses. Again, struggling with my words today, but that's a really useful tool when there is an immediate physical threat. Now we know with anxiety, what's happening with sensitization, stress that's built up over the years. Your nervous system's tired, which controls the flight or fight response. It's fatigued, it's overactive. Over many years, and so what it does, it starts to turn the flight or fight on more, almost like this. It's like permanently. So, in addition to that, it then for some people, one of the symptoms can be tinnitus because the hearing gets so sensitive, it starts to tune into different sounds that are already there. So it might tune into some echoing within the body. There's lots of processes, chemical reactions, blood pumping, all sorts of things going on in the body instead of just focusing outward, it tunes into these sounds that would normally be subtle that the brain would filter out naturally into sounds that are already there. So again, that's all it is. Now it's going to be different for everyone. There's might be whooshing, whistling. It doesn't matter. They sound odd because we think, well, there must be something else. For many people, they don't have any hearing issues. They can hear fine with tinnitus. Often people think it's because I was exposed to loud music all the time, but it suddenly comes on with anxiety. So what's going on there, or when they're stressed? So again, all it is this overactive flight or fight because of sensitization, giving you this hypersensitive hearing. So you're starting to tune into sounds that the brain would normally filter out. Again, that's all it is. So what we start to do is we have to start to practice with them, float through them, allow them, try and take some of the fear out of it, remind ourselves what it is, because over time, as your sensitization levels drop, the brain will stop requiring your hearing to tune into these internal sounds that are always already there for everyone. So again, it's the body thinks it's doing what it needs to do. I'm going to tune into everything because there's danger around me because I'm sensitized. I'm tired. So through all the practices I describe, and you can use all the practices I described, allowing, going loose, slowing down, letting it all happen, whenever you start to tune in to the tinnitus sounds. Now, with tinnitus, a lot of people spend a lot of time getting checked out, analyzing the type of sounds they've got, doing all the stuff and having a lot of anxiety about the tinnitus. Often it's the anxiety about the tinnitus or the worry about the sounds that's worse than the tinnitus itself. So we can start to practice with the worries about it, knowing that in time we'll start to tune into those sounds less. It won't even bother us even when it's present. And then the more we desensitize over time, those sounds will eventually fade and dissipate. Now, sometimes with my practices, people get instant relief. Some people not. It doesn't matter. This is about the cumulative effect of calming down the nervous system. So again, that this hypersensitivity of your hearing starts to switch off naturally as the nervous system starts to calm down. A lot of us spend a lot of time analyzing the sounds. Is mine different from someone else's? Is mine really hearing damage and someone else's isn't? Feel free to get your ears checked out. Of course, see a doctor, do all that. But a lot of people who have had it have already done all that and they've had no help. And so they're sort of left to go, well, what do I do with this thing? To my mind, everyone who's got tinnitus has experienced stress that I've spoken to. They've got a sensitized nervous system that I've spoken to. It only takes a session or two of coaching to understand and establish that. Most people realize that it has come on at a stressful period in their life. Otherwise, if there isn't any stress present, the body has no need to tune into these internal sounds that are already there. They sound weird because it's like there's ringing, there's whooshing, there's clicking, whatever it might be. And so some people think, well, hang on, my body doesn't sound like that. But when you're hypersensitive, it starts to tune into things that it wouldn't normally. The body is actually a very powerful instrument. So again, the body thinks it's doing what it needs to do to protect you. And through the work I do, we can start to retrain our brain out of it, unlearn that habit through the power of neuroplasticity. So we can start to rewire the brain through allowing, slowing down, letting it all happen. Rubbing the shoulders when we start to tune in. And, oh, there it is, no problem. Go loose, slow down, back to what I'm doing. Every time we start to tune into the sounds, again, we become disinterested in, oh, there it is, I know what that is now. It's just adrenaline-fueled, sensitization-fueled sounds. I can start to become disinterested and start to move forward with life. I don't have to avoid them. It's okay if you sleep with a bit of background noise or you put some music on and that helps, or it's quiet and that helps. Use those tools to have a bit of a break from thinking about it, practicing, but you want to be doing the practice over and over. Whenever your mind starts to think about it, tune into it, as well as have breaks from thinking about it. So sometimes we have some crutches, use them, but use them consciously while you start to practice what I described, going loose, allowing, effectively floating through all these sounds, and eventually over time they'll start to dissipate. I hope that answers questions. If you've got any more around tinnitus, please let me know and I can do a follow-up video. If you do need some support, feel free to book in a coaching session, but with me online. But otherwise, I hope to see you again soon. Take care.